بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear friends, welcome to Idea Foundation Forum. Today we will discuss the research topic Faith, Soul, Heart and Brain, a comprehensive coherence. Comprehensive coherence. As we have been discussing in previous lectures, the Qur'an describes a very strong role of the heart in psychophysiological and spiritual domains of human life. The Qur'an has revealed about 200 verses explaining centrality of the heart in connecting the man's physical being with his spiritual being. It takes cognizance of faith, soul, heart, and brain to build a comprehensive edifice of coherence defining the man's connectivity inside and interconnectivity among the elements of the universe and the self linked with one whole of the divine order. But we, the Muslims, historically neglected the understanding and learning necessary to transmute this philosophy into a prescription or a framework for creating an orderly, coherent, resilient, and vibrant environment for personal and societal life, unfortunately. Science, on the other hand, remained blind to look at the heart beyond its working as blood circulation hub till 1960s. However, during the last a few decades, neurocardiology discovered great impact of positive emotions on heart-brain coherence, bringing several psychophysiological benefits to the human life. With the discovery of cardio-electromagnetic communication of the heart, science has expanded the scope of personal coherence to global coherence and connectivity with the earthly and solar electromagnetic fields. Despite these wonderful discoveries, science still lacks in pursuing the spiritual core that can accomplish the connectivity of the man with the earth, the universe, and the divine order. Science still needs to know the spirit behind the heart that instills it with the positive inclinations and emotions. It also needs to find some confident remedy to avert the flow of negative emotions and thoughts causing fears, stress, strains, anxieties, and such other human sufferings. Whereas the Quran provides definite solution, I repeat, definite solution to these vital issues through the interconnectivity of faith, soul, heart, and brain. Today, we will look into this interconnectivity which ensures much more comprehensive human coherence. So, dear friends, the man, his creation, and his life are all mysteries of the nature. Mysteries. The man was created from clay and then procreated from a drop of water. Both are material elements. Drop of water and clay, both are material elements. However, inside his physical being, he is all spiritual. His nature, source of his life, his soul, the chemistry that puts trillions of pieces into a whole, and the force that drives a lifeless heap of matter, all are spiritual. The man's past is spiritual, and so is the future. Allah created the man on his own nature. On his own nature, blessed him with the divine spirit and knowledge, and thus appointed him his vicegerent on the earth with a free personality. Enabling the man to perform this great trust in the most befitting manner, Allah blessed him with the purpose of his creation, why he has been created, and placed resources of the whole universe under his subordination. Under his subordination. For this role, the man was also empowered with the wonderful physical outfit, the knowledge of senses, intellect, heart, and the spirit. And above all, he was honored with the divine message. Honoring the man with such a personality was a reflection of Allah's great love for him. And also, Allah intended to manifest, to show his being as described in a hadith Qudsi in the words. Listen. كنت كنزا مخفيا فأحببت أن أعرف فخلقت الخلق لكي أعرف. Translation is, I was a hidden treasure. Allah is saying, I was a hidden treasure and I wished to be known. So I created a creation, the mankind, then made myself known to them, known to the men, and they recognized me. To know the Quranic description of the man's spiritual profile in more details, some verses are shown on the screen for your convenience. Please study them at your convenience. So, dear friends, the man at the time of his creation was honored with great spiritual profile. Spiritual profile. Allah honored him first with khalq. What is khalq? Creation, bodily creation. His statue was prepared. Then with amr, Allah's spirit. Ayat 9 of Surah Sajda describes distinction between man's physical being and spiritual being in a very precise manner as, listen, Summa sawwahu wa nafakha fihi min ruhihi wa ja'ala lakumus sam'a wal absara wal af'ida. Translation is, then he fashioned him, gave a physical structure in due proportion, and breathed into him of his spirit, of Allah's spirit. And he gave you hearing, means ears, sight, means eyes, and hearts. The words, then he fashioned him in due proportion, refers to the man's physical creation. And the words, and breathed into him of his spirit, refers to his spiritual being. There is distinction. Please focus on the changing status of the man. Before the spiritual birth, he was not worthy of direct address. he was addressed by calling him he, third person. While after the spiritual birth, after infusion of the Spirit, Allah addressed him in second person, you, which indicates completion of his personality with the induction of Spirit. Also note the words of his Spirit, which means the soul breathed into the man belongs to the Divine Spirit. The breathing of Allah's Spirit into the man does not involve a physical activity. You follow my point? It's not a physical activity. Rather, it is charging of the man's heart with the Divine Spirit that caused creation of human soul or nafs in the man. It's a very delicate distinction. Please try to focus. Thus, heart and nafs have direct connectivity with the spirit or ruh, as the Qur'an calls it. The mind also carries spiritual value as it seeks spiritual guidance through the heart and operates through brain. Brain is tool of the mind. Heart is the guide of the mind. For deeper study on the distinction of spirit, nafs and heart, lectures 89 and 91 may kindly be revisited. Here I will seek attention on the graph shown on the screen, which describes the connectivity of the spirit, nafs, heart and mind. The man is gifted with this great connectivity at the time of birth. It is what makes the man of best mold, best stature, as Ayat 4 of Surah At-Teen describes it. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. But since Allah has given the man a free personality with an earthly outfit as well, and made this worldly life a short span of test and trial, the man is to be tested how successfully he could preserve this great privilege of connectivity with the Spirit. However, Allah has also blessed the man with faith, Iman, the most powerful elixir to hold his spiritual connection high, not to let it fall. The relation of the faith with these spiritual phenomena we will discuss shortly. Dear friends, in view of the man's status as physical being as revealed in Ayat 9 of Surah Sajda, Allah settled the mankind on this earth, giving him a physical body made of the earthly elements to match his earthly needs and to enable him play the role assigned for this earth, because he was made vicegerent for this earth. Thus, for his worldly life, he was accomplished with befitting physical faculties and attributes. You follow my point? This way, the man was exposed to the worldly charms, which breed in him, which inculcate in him breed in him the earthly traits of materialism, self possession, self love, and self interest. These earthly traits inculcate negative emotions and attitudes in human personalities which have strong potential to distance him away from his desired positive role of faith in the sovereignty of Allah and compassion, love, benevolence, social justice, equity, growth, and common good for the humanity. Very important. In fact, there is clash between the perspectives of physical being and spiritual being or personality of the man. There is basic conflict, contradiction, conflict of interest. For the man as physical being, this life ends with his death, nothing more. He dies and he is put in the grave and the story is finished. While for the man as spiritual personality, worldly life is mere a short span for preparing his profile worthy of higher reward in the hereafter by establishing his allegiance to the will of Allah and well-being of the humanity based on positive emotions and attitudes. The heart has been gifted to the man as reflector of the divinity, rhythm of the nature, and echo of the truth, as revealed in ayat 32 of Surah Al-Hajj. ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَزِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Translation is, that is what one should remember, and if one observes the sanctity of the symbols of Allah, mysteries of Allah, wonders of the nature, then such things comes out from the piety of the hearts. It's the significance of the heart. But unfortunately, the materialist mind took the heart as a mere blood circulation hub and thus could not appreciate its spiritual value and its connectivity with the divine spirit. This is the oblivion minded. This is the tragedy. This is the oblivion that causes fall of the man from asani takweem, the heights of grace, to asfala safilin, the depths of degradation. Yet Allah is the most compassionate and merciful, kind. He revealed the faith and wisdom to the heart so that the man could regain from asfala safilin to ahsani takweem, regain his lost divine connectivity and the promised grace. Dear friends, there are 6 articles of faith, 6 articles. Of them, the firm and heartfelt faith in the oneness of Allah, His absolute authority over all the affairs of the universe and self, and their connectivity with the divine order, accords a man a channel, a channel for communication with his Lord to seek his guidance and wisdom. The faith, what is faith? This is faith, if truly understood, cleans the heart of negative emotions and attitudes, inculcates strong feelings for submission to the will of Allah, and positive emotions for well-being of the humanity, and it gives the divine meaning to the inner voice. It gives the divine meanings to the inner voice. Such piety of the heart links it with the divine wisdom for guidance of the mind and body. In lecture 105, the impact of faith on the emotions, resilience, psychophysiological coherence, and inner baseline was explained through a graph which is displayed on the screen. Please have a look on it. Dear friends, it needs to be understood that a true and comprehensive coherence lies in connecting the faith and spirit with the heart and the brain. Science must also need to know this essentiality for comprehensive psychophysiological and spiritual coherence of the man, as well as his coherence with the solar and geomagnetic fields, and above all with the divine order. This great coherence with the divine order can be seen, can be observed when the man's will is submerged into the will of Allah, as Hadith Qudsi describes this situation in the words. Allah says, when I love him, I love my beloved man, I am his hearing with which he hears, his seeing with which he sees, his hand with which he strikes, and his foot with which he walks. Such merging of the wills was observed in the Battle of Badr, where the actions taken by Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam were owned by Allah, as revealed in Ayat 17 of Surah Al-Anfal, as shown on the screen. So, dear friends, we conclude our discussion here. These programs are recorded both in Urdu and English. Their videos can be watched on ideafoundation.com.pk website or its YouTube channel and Facebook. Their written versions are also available on the Idea Foundation's website. Please note code number of this program, Idea 1B R18 or lecture number 113. All friends are requested to subscribe the Foundation's YouTube web channel for the benefit of this noble cause. Thank you friends for participation. Allah Hafiz.